Hello, everybody. Mitzi Cruz here, host of Lincoln Live. Today, we're getting started just a little bit late, had some technical difficulties, but in any case, just wanted to thank you all for joining us today. And we are live with Carmelita Carter of Fairway Mortgage right here in Lincoln. So if you guys don't know Carmelita, she is a wealth of information, super just incredible woman, always giving back, and you got to know her. So in any case, thank you so much for joining us today, Carmelita.
Thanks for having me. I really appreciate it.
So can you start off by telling us a little bit about yourself?
Sure. I've actually been, I started with Fairway about 2.5 years ago. My dream when I came to Fairway, well, actually my dream when I started in industry was to open my own office here in Lincoln. So when I started with Fairway and meeting Greg Sandler, that was something we kind of proposed, and it's something that my dreams came true. So we opened an office here almost about 2 years ago. So I'm a loan officer here. I have my own branch. Ashley Foster is our processor in our branch, as well as Krista Bauer is our loan partner. So she helps with all types of things. I've actually been in this industry about 18 years now. Started kind of like the back end stuff, the processing, the nitty gritty, and that's the stuff I really truly love. About 6 years ago, I just decided, hey, I might as well just start to work for myself, kind of brand and, kind of grow in Lincoln. And that's been my goal. So now we finally, we're here. We opened our branch 2 years ago. So super excited just to be here in Lincoln, support local, anything we can do.
So let's back up just a little bit. You mentioned that you've been in the business now for about 18 years. So yeah. I'm just curious, what was there some burning desire where you're like, oh goodness, I'd love to process loans, or how did you get into the business?
So actually, a friend of mine had said, hey, my wife is looking for somebody to assist in this field. It's not, obviously I was super young, so it's not a field that I ever knew about, but I was always curious about. I love numbers. I love paper. I love solving problems. So this industry just seems to, it worked for my curiosity. So I loved it. It was something that, really over the years, I really, it's a passion of mine. It's something that I go to work every single day, and I'm so thankful for it. I have a lot of fun with it. So it's not something that, oh my gosh, I have to go to work. It's something that I truly love. And, my team, we have a lot of fun. So, and the fact that now I get to be in my own community is icing on the cake.
So, yeah, I mean, I was always curious about that, because I'll tell you what, being in the business, a relatable business myself, I just am in such awe of what you do and what, loan officers and mortgage brokers do, because there's always, the regulations are always changing. The market's always changing. The rates are always changing. The constant is change. And there's, a whole underwriting department in the back end, looking over the whole file, making sure it all conforms and everything. And it's like, you guys are miracle workers. It's amazing. And making people's dreams come true. It's just remarkable what you do.
Oh, well, thank you. Yeah, we love it. So it's something that keeps us going day in and day out.
So what would you say, how would you say, especially having just opened this Fairway branch in Lincoln just 2 short years ago, how would you say that everything that we're experiencing right now with COVID, how has that affected just your daily routine and how you're able to help families? Has it really slowed things down, or what's it looking like right now?
No, actually, I think that, there's just a lot more communication, which I love. So I just have the one-on-one more conversations with, how are you and your family holding up? How are things really changing in your life? Because those things that are changing in your life really do reflect on how they change in our mortgage industry. So, example, if you're having a hardship on your payments, how do we kind of overcome those? We talk about budgets more often. We talk about, different things in, your working field. What do you do for your industry? We really try to just get ahead as to, what's your credit score? We have a lot more conversations as to how we can financially build from the bottom up. So I think that that's really helped us help a lot more families. We have not slowed down. Purchases are great. Refinances are amazing. So there's a lot of, clients that are being able to find their perfect home right now with amazing interest rates. So there's always win-win situations that are going on. Yes, it's a little different. You do have to look at credit a little bit different. But I'm super thankful we have a credit department that helps you with that. So I always say that, starting now will help us build our future. And it is, knowledge is key. So just knowing all that has really helped us out.
So would you say that right now is a good time to purchase or refinance?
Oh, yes. Either one. So refinances, everybody's wise 100% completely different. So, some people's whys will be right now to get that lower interest rate. I mean, I had somebody yesterday call me and they were at a 5.25. I thought, oh, okay. So, some people's are debt consolidation. Some people's are just that lower monthly payment. Some people are shorting the term. Purchases are amazing right now. I mean, we have, moving out of state, moving into state, relocating to be closer by family. Some of them are actually moving away from city to be in, a little bit more of a suburb area. So everybody's why is completely different. But I think purchases are amazing. Refinances are amazing. There hasn't really been a slow in our market.
No,
right?
I know it's actually, it's remarkable. And I think that, you hit it on the head. I mean, really the time for somebody to buy or sell or refinance is when it's time for them. Right. And so, yeah, I think that's a big thing to keep in mind, just as we're navigating, our current circumstances and trying to look, into the future to see kind of how this is all going to shake out. But that's great information. I know one question I'm sure you get asked all the time: what are rates? What are the rates looking like?
They're super low. I mean, and being in this industry as long as I have and seeing the ups and downs and just kind of going with ups and downs, this is the lowest I've seen. So hands down, it is an amazing time to do whatever you're thinking. Ask the questions, know your answers, versus, just saying, oh, I'll just wait. No, having that information is key. So I think that in this market, rates are doing amazing. I think rates will hold strong to, obviously help, boost us back up when we're all back to our normal or our new normal. But I think that, the economy will hopefully, rebuild itself.
Right. Yeah. And the economy is really built on the backbone of the housing market. So it's really going to be important for those moves to continue to be made and things like that. So what would you just say to someone who's maybe thinking about purchasing, maybe they're not even a conversation with you?
So yesterday I had the same actually conversation. They've been thinking about it for a while, not too sure. And again, it all starts with, knowing what you don't know, finding out those answers. Let's at least do an application. If you don't find that home, there's no harm, no foul. At least you've gotten your feet wet. You've started the process. You've started looking. And if you can find that dream home and you can find that perfect box that, fits all your, check marks, then great, that works for you.
Right. So, and just pardon me, what I'm doing right now is I'm pulling up our interview to see if we have questions, comments in real time so that I can help, to relay those to you and you can answer those in real time. So, take us back. One of the things that I'm curious about, just because, pardon the screaming children in the background. One of the things that I've always been curious about is the whole business building aspect from the lender standpoint. So I know as an entrepreneur myself, having to build my business and what that looked like for me. And, as a new loan officer, take us kind of to that and how you were able to successfully do that.
Yeah. So 6 years ago, I decided to work for myself. And like I told you earlier, I'm actually pretty shy. So, I never really had a whole lot of, a big fear of people, but in this industry, I've gotten to know a lot more people. I've gotten to know a lot more about our community, just a little bit more than I ever had the opportunity to know before. So it's been a great experience. I think that, becoming a loan officer is a fun thing. I've gotten to, just go out and meeting people is how I've gotten my business, being there for the smallest questions, the smallest, no question is too small. It's, just text me. I'm happy to answer it. So I think that, over the years, just being out there and putting myself out there has helped me to grow my business.
Well, and you've been really humble and sharing, but you really do a lot for the community and for the real estate community. You're very involved. And so, for anyone watching that doesn't know Carmeita, you should definitely know her. She's a wealth of information. She's a great resource when it comes to those questions. I think a lot of people have this misnomer that if they speak with a lender, then they're automatically going to have their credit run, things like that. But, you can really help get people to a starting point that's going to allow them to have the structure to get where they want to go, just with that one simple phone call, and really get them motivated.
Yeah, and I think that building, step by step, the process, if it's not now, it is when. It truly is. And just kind of knowing what do we need to do to get you there, and we work together through that process. I think that's been key. It's also been a fun experience once you are able to purchase that home. When a lot of people come to me and they're like, oh, well, you know what, my credit's not good enough. But you never know. I've pulled a lot of credit where it's like, oh, okay, you're ready to go.
Right.
And I know with our new normal, credit is a little bit tightening. So we always want to start with credit just to kind of see where we're at. But if you kind of just tell me and you're, just start with the questions that you have, then we'll build from there. And that's really what the home purchase process is about. It's just kind of knowing the next step from here.
So, excuse me, I've been hoarse the last couple of days. I don't know, but anyway. So when somebody comes to you and they say, okay, look, I know my credit is terrible. I have, credit wise for my credit cards, or I've looked at Credit Karma. So I don't need it to be run to know, but just kind of give me some general idea on what things I can do without obviously credit counseling, because that's a whole different arena. But so what advice would you have for somebody who's maybe there that ultimately would like to purchase?
So Credit Karma, love, but unfortunately it's not lifetime on credit scores. So it's a good way to gauge kind of where you started at from the time that you and I have, made that first initial appointment to
Sure.
where it would go to. The adjustments in there just kind of is a gauge, not, again, a true credit score. So I always do recommend starting with a credit report so I can see truly what you need to do. I have a lot of clients that will come to me and say, hey, I have this amount of money, I'm going to pay this off, or I'm going to do this. And unfortunately, the money that you're spending is probably not going directly where we need to do, or what we need to spend it on to get the scores where we need to get it to in the amount of time we want to get it to purchase that home. So starting with credit is key. We have a credit department that, if it's, a little bit more involved, they work with you. It's not something that ever is cost to our consumer, which is great. So it's something that really just, helps them, get more involved in credit, knowing what credit is, because you'd be surprised as to some people really never have that education as to what credit is, what it really means, and to, just have certain credit cards or balances or, X, Y, Z. There's just a lot involved in credit, and it's just funny. You just have to really let somebody look at it and really advise you step by step the way to really move forward.
Yeah, one of the things that I'm really amazed that there is no formal training or classes, high school level classes that address credit, because one of the biggest, unfortunately, we're so married to that number. And it's very easily manipulated. So, but you've got to know what to do. So, I sat down with a gal a few weeks ago that had never had a credit card, never in her whole entire life, never had a credit card. She's in her 40s. And it's just lack of, because you hear all these things, don't get credit cards, don't overextend, no credit's better than bad credit, and just all these misnomers. But the reality is just having someone who knows what they're talking about to guide you through that is really the key to mastering that.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. I think another misnomer, it's funny because, I've heard, and I'm sure you've heard that people say, the number one reason people don't buy houses is because they don't believe that they can. And I think that there's, still people, even today, that believe that you've got to have 20% down. VAs are hard loans to navigate, all these, different things that maybe historically would have been true, 20 years ago, but not the case.
Yes, exactly. And that's why I tell people, don't be afraid. And I tell some of my agents the same thing. Don't be afraid. There are certain things out there that, the beliefs that have been instilled in people way back when is not true today. It is an easier time to purchase. We do a lot of purchase transactions throughout the year that, it's just, again, knowledge is key.
That's right. Yeah. And I'll just share something personal. I bought my first house as a single mom with 5 children. And, just if I could do it, anybody watching, you guys can all do it, and call Carmelita and she'll help you to have that plan so that you know how to move forward. I'm just going to check back with the audience here and just see what questions we may have from the audience. And let's see. Oh, got to turn down. Oh, so Richard Buzz says, nice kitchen.
Oh, thank you. The new normal, working from home.
Right. Yeah. Well, it's a beautiful, beautiful home office, I gotta say.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
It's my dining room table.
Tammy Rydell says credit and debt management are easy with just a little bit of education.
Yep.
Yep.
True.
And that's it. I think that's what we get all in our heads, about, how difficult this all is, but it's not, when you have an expert to guide you through that. So.
Yeah, and I think sometimes it comes from our parents where they were like, you have to save 20%. And it's like, no, in all honesty, my son is going to be 21 and he is in the process of, Mom, get me pre-approved, and he's ready to go.
Yeah.
So, and unfortunately with the turning in time, one of them is not working. So, obviously we're going to wait it out. We're going to get them pre-approved subject to. So, he'll be a homeowner by the age of 21. So, but I think that it does start from our parents, and it does start from us knowing, and knowledge is key. And the more that we can push them to know about credit and, the opportunities of owning a home is tremendous.
Right. Right. It just opens so many doors. And, we won't get into the whole tax ramifications because we're not qualified to do that. But I will say that, talk to your accountant because there are tax benefits as well. So we do have a question here. I have 2 mortgages. One's huge, one's small, about 110K. I need to refinance the smaller one. Who should I go to for that?
Me. I'm just happy to answer any questions that you may have. And again, everybody's why is different. How we would structure your loans completely different. Just happy to answer any questions, just see, does it make sense?
Yeah. And, I appreciate that so much, when someone can actually get expert advice and here sometimes, it doesn't make sense what you're looking to do. It's maybe got postcards in the mail. Someone said you can refinance. It sounds sexy, but the reality is your potential or your specific scenario isn't a good candidate for that. And then they can go away knowing that they've been taken care of. And then let's see, are any lenders considering stated income refis?
Stated income. So a lot of the bank statement loans have currently been suspended. They will come back. It's just a matter of time. So banks right now have just, they basically don't know where this is all going to take us. So they're going to be a little bit more conservative. And so that's why starting now is really, truly a lifesaver, because of the fact that you can position to win. So if it's not now, it really will be like sitting on the sidelines. You have all your documentation in to any lender that offers them, and then you're ready to go as soon as it drops. It's the fact that you're waiting and you're waiting and you're waiting, and I'm like, oh, I'll just put it off till later. That's where you become a little bit late in the game.
Right. Yeah.
So especially if you think it will help you, just kind of predicting what will help you and where do we need to navigate you to.
And Amrit, I love him. He's great. Thanks for watching. He says, how is the cash out refi market?
Great. Yeah. We have a lot of clients pulling out cash. Debt consolidation, home improvements has been an amazing thing because the rates are so low. So the rates are lower than most of my clients' rates now. And some of them have actually refinanced 6 months ago to even a lower interest rate now. So again, everybody's why is different. What makes sense for that client, financial monthly budget is huge to really just sit down and navigate through.
And on that note, I actually had a question about, oh my gosh, I think I just lost my question. I apologize. It'll come back to me, I'm sure. Well, and I just want to point out to you guys, I don't know if everybody can see Carmelita's phone number. It's actually on the bottom screen there. So that's her cell. So she's happy and willing to answer any questions that you have. So take down that number. You want to just let everybody know what that number is?
Yes, 916-295-8140. Also, my email is my last name, team, because I do have a whole team at fairwaymc.com. So our whole team is ready to help answer any questions you have.
And just to be clear, guys, it's Carter with the D, not a T.
Yes.
Yes. Yes. Okay. And let's see. I'm not seeing any additional questions right at this moment. So let's go ahead and chat about the raffle. So why don't you tell everybody what you have so generously decided to offer for the raffle prize, and then I'll just remind them how it works.
Yes. Well, I love that you do that. That's awesome. I love a good raffle. So what we're going to do is $50 to somewhere here. Actually, I'm going to let you pick somewhere local here in Lincoln, a restaurant of your choice. $50 to however you guys play the game.
Right. So this is how it works. You guys are going to share this live video by noon tomorrow. You're going to comment shared in the comments below. That way we know to give you credit for sharing the video. And then after at some point, I know I'm behind on my raffles right now, so I got a little catching up to do with you guys. But in any case, when we go ahead and do draw for that raffle, I will connect you directly with Carmelita, and then you guys can determine which restaurant you would like $50 credit to. So definitely share the video, and then I need to see it in this thread, because otherwise I can't find it. So share this video, comment, share it in this thread on Lincoln Live, and then we'll get you entered to win. So Carmelita, it's just been such a pleasure. I always just enjoy chatting with you so much, and you're remarkable. Did you have any final thoughts or anything else you wanted to touch upon before we wrap up?
No, I just really appreciate you. I love everything you do in this community. So I'm just super honored that you reached out to me. I mean, I was really shocked. So thank you. I really appreciate it.
No, I really, it was important to me. I wanted to help, spread the word, and then get somebody, right here in Lincoln who could share that information, because you're a big part of the community, and we appreciate all that you do.
Thank you.
And I appreciate you guys so much for watching. You guys have a wonderful afternoon. We are back to our normal schedule, Tuesdays at noon. And I'll be back in a little bit to chat with you guys about the Magnificent Moms giveaway, and what the ladies who've collaborated with that, with me on that, and I have determined as far as how to take care of the entries that we receive. Some remarkable, heartwarming stories. Can't wait to share those with you. You guys have a great day. Thanks, Carmelita.
Thank you.